is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Hainsey coming back for another video, and today we're going to be doing our 2024 NRL Ladder Predictions for the upcoming season. It's less than a month away, so I thought we'd get into our ladder predictions for the 2024 season, but I thought we'd change it up a bit this year. Instead of being in front of a desk, in front of a camera, well, we still are on camera to be honest, but instead of a desk in a room, we thought we'd come here to Allianz Stadium, the home of the Sydney Roosters, to do our ladder predictions for the 2024 season and take you a little bit of a tour around Allianz Stadium precinct. It is the best stadium in the country, and I thought I'd take you around, show you around where I call home every weekend, and yeah, have a bit of fun along the way. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new around here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Hainsey_IT. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. Without further ado, let's get straight into our predictions.
Alright guys, we are currently right now at the bottom part of Allianz Stadium. You could say that, the lowest part of the venue. We've come to Drivers Avenue, the main entrance into Allianz Stadium. You've come from the light rail, you've walked down Drivers Avenue past the SCG, and you end up here. You walk up the stairs and straight up to Gate 1. Teams are trying to climb up the ladder, but they end up here. They end at the lowest part, which is the bottom four. And starting off into the bottom four in last place, we get to the dreaded wooden spoon, and it's another dirty merger club. It's not the West Tigers this year, it is the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Alright, the Dragons, man, they've had an off-season from hell. Like, they signed Volkman. Volkman gets injured, now he's no longer at the club. Corey Allen's got signed, and then now he's out for the season with an ACL. You've also had Amon's contract being terminated. They've just had an off-season from hell, the Dragons, and I do feel sorry for them. With all the off-field distractions and Ben Hunt, whether he's going to stay or not, I just generally think they're going to come last. Moving on now, guys, and we've got the Canberra Raiders in 16th place. Now the Raiders, they're a team that can surprise everyone. You know, they could either make the top 8 or finish wherever. But I got them in second last this year. I generally think that without White and without Jared Croker, I generally think they're going to struggle. Look, they've got the worst points differential in the top 8 last season. They only won every game last year by 1-12. They didn't win any games 13 plus. They didn't win any games convincingly. And, you know, they just, even though they overachieved last year, they still struggled a little bit. I generally think that they're going to really have a bad season. But, you know, they have that good season and then they fall off period a year after, and then they get back to the top 8 the year after. So I generally think that's the way the Raiders are going to go this year. I still think they're going to be competitive. They're going to be miles between the Dragons, but I still think they come second last.
On now into 15th place, we have the Dolphins. Now the Dolphins what they were able to do in the first couple of months of the season was phenomenal. In the first week of the season, and on top of that as well, they just, you know, they surprised everyone. But they sort of fell off in the season. They finished 13th, which is a pass mark for the Dolphins in their first season. But how can they go? Can they back that up? Can they get themselves back up again? My answer is no. I just think they're going to struggle a little bit this year. They're still going to have a respectful season where they shove the big teams, flake like far more from the Broncos, Amarillo for the Bulldogs. I just don't think they're going to do too much this year. I think they have 15th place, won't be as last season. He'll still do well, but the Dolphins are on the rise. But for 2024, they finished 15th. Yeah, not much more I can say about the Dolphins. They finish in 15th. 14th place, sorry Winston, I've got to do it to you. It's the Bulldogs. 14th for the Bulldogs. Look, I'm not into this 2024 pattern hype, alright? I know it's there, you can't ignore it because you post it everywhere, but Bulldogs fans, this is the reality, right? There's this uncertainty at the Bulldogs, man. We don't know who's the spine going to be, who's playing fullback, where's Burton going to play? He's not a 5'8", he's a centre. Burton is the centre. How they should do this, they should go Blake Taff, fullback, Carraz, Averilla's not there anymore, so you go Carraz, Stephen Crichton, Matt Burton, Addo-Carr, your halves of Drew Hutchison, the GOAT, Drew Clark, Toby Sexton. There's your back line. It's a respectable back line. Burton did his best stuff at the Panthers when he was in the centres. He's not a 5'8", he does too much. Take experienced halves that do the job. Get them in centres with a deadly combination with Addo-Carr and Stephen Crichton and Carraz, because that's still a respectable team. But there's just no uncertainty. There's just so many uncertainties at the Bulldogs this year that I just can't see them doing anything. I think in years to come, when they get the team together, they gel, have a year under their belt, under Seraldo. Well, they had that last year, but they've got the new players. Get them all in there, have a year where they are all gelled, ready to go into 2025. This is what 2024 will be. These 2 years that they've had the Bulldogs, it's just a rebuilding year. They've got the squad that they want, get it together, get the team to gel. Maybe at the back end of the season we see the Bulldogs improve, but I think they finished 14th. There is our bottom 4, guys. Let's move on now to the other half of the top 8.
Alright guys, now we've come to the outside the gate office here at gate 3. Now, you've got Moore Park Road right over there. You walk in here. This is the box office. Teams are trying to get into the top 8, book their tickets into the top 8, but as you can see right now, it's closed, sold out. You can't get in. Now, here is the remainder of the bottom 8 for 2024. Hey guys, Hainsey here. Now, I had to jump in here. I do apologise, guys, but my audio was shot in this video. It was very windy in Sydney that day of filming, and video between 13th to 11th, you couldn't hear me at all. I'll show you what it sounded like. Yeah, I know. So, I can't use it and I can't really voice over it. So, I'm just going to go straight out and tell you what my 13th to 11th was. So, 13th had the West Tigers. I think they're going to have a good year. They're going to get out of the bottom 4. I think Benji will do well for them. Building year for the Tigers, I think they'll do well. 12th, I've got the Titans. With Des Hasler coming, it's only up from the Titans for me, but I think the first season is just getting a building year, getting the team together under Des Hasler. Towards the back end of the season, that's where we're going to see the best of the Titans. So I think they've just missed out in the 8. They'll be competitive all season, but I just think a bit of a building year first before building into 2025 and 2026 where they start playing 5 footy. 11th, Manly. I just don't trust Anthony Seabolt. I don't think he's a good coach. However, the Luke Brooks and DCE will bond well. Turbo, if he's fit, they can make the 8, but I just don't really trust Seabolt. So, I do apologise, guys. I have to be quick and fast with these ones, but yeah, as you can tell earlier, my audio was shot. But the rest of the video come good, so let's get straight into our predictions from 10th to the rest of the video. Thanks for watching.
Now moving on into 10th place. 10th place now. We're nearly there. We're nearly into the top 8 contention. 10th spot, we are going to put the North Queensland Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will have a good year. I like the direction they're going at the moment. They've got Dearden and Ruben Cotter as the club captains, but there's really unknowns at the moment with the Tigers. There's just really unknowns with the Cowboys, eh? There's real unknowns. I just don't know how they're going to go. How they're going to go. They had some good periods last year, and they had some bad periods. They're really up and down last year, the Cowboys, and I think it's going to have a similar season where it comes down to the last remaining games to decide their fate. I think they just missed out.
In 9th place, we've got the Cronulla Sharks.
Sharks, I'm sorry, guys. Sharks fans, I'm sorry. Got to do it to you. Recent shows that it just hasn't been consistent. It just hasn't been good enough. You haven't been in the top 8 teams. You don't deserve to be in the top 8. You only beat the teams that you expected to beat. The teams that you win are bottom 8 teams. The teams that you lose are top 8 teams. Look at last year's semi-final, for example. At the time right now, so I'll put him in 9th. Nico Hines will have a phenomenal season like he always does. Alrighty guys, now we have come to the top 8. Now this is right now gate 2. We are currently at gate 2 here at Allianz Stadium. Now this is the corporate entry into Allianz Stadium. You've got the Chairman's Club, the Captain's Club. You've got all the Allianz Stadium members. Uncle Nick come through these doors. This is the place where you want to be. You want to be in the top 8. This is where you want to be. This is where you feel like you belong. This is the top 8. Let's get straight into it. 8th spot. We're gonna put the Parramatta Eels, the Parramatta Squeals. Now, they're a team, they have a good year and a bad year. They had a bad year, they're having a good year this year. I think they make the top 8. They're a decent team. Not real changes, but I think they're still a quality team. They make the top 8, and I think they just scrape into the top 8 somehow. Don't know how, but they still do. Moving on now into 7th spot. Moving now into 7th spot, we've got the New Zealand Warriors, the Wars, up those Wars. Now the Wars, let's talk about those Wars. What about those Wars? Oh my God, there's so many puns. Anyway, so the Warriors, they had a phenomenal season last year. Don't get me wrong, they had a phenomenal season, right? But I don't think they'll back it up in an extent where they make top 4 again. they still make the top 8 because they're still a quality team. Then, you can't just dump them out of the 8. I just feel like they're going to have a season where it's respected, where they still make the top 8, they still be competitive, but not at the back end of town. That's what I just think about the Warriors this year. They finished 7th, they still have a good year, but they just a little bit of a fall off from last year. Not too much. Still got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Sean Johnson back in the same team again. It's scary stuff. Nickel Kostat as fullback, man. That's some serious talent, the Warriors this year. Kirk Capewell's also signed, so still a decent year, but even though it's still a decent year, they miss out on the top 4 though. Unlucky. In the 6th spot now, we have got the Newcastle Knights. Long live the Newcastle Knights. The Newcastle Knights. Man, they had a great end of the season last year. You can't ignore that. So I put them in 6th. They stay where they are. I don't know, they finished 5th last year. They're moving to 6th, similar position as last year. I don't think they'll have that massive fall off that everyone will think because they just had that fantastic run. Can they repeat that though? I generally think they can. They've got the team to do it. They lose Tom Young, no, but they still have a quality team there. You've got Ponga as your fullback. When he's on, right? That's just reality. And then you've still got a decent team. You've got Marzu, Bradman Best, Gagai, Halves, Hastings, and you've got Hastings and Gamble, right? Yeah, they're not the greatest halves in the world, but they do the job. And that's all sometimes you need. You've got superstars, and then you've got the players who are willing to get the job done. They work hard, and they find a way. They're the battlers, Newcastle. They've always been. And it's always good to see Newcastle doing well. It's great for the game. It's great for the region of the Hunter Valley. So, Newcastle, they finished 6th. They get a home final. They'll do well. And, a decent season again for Newcastle Knights. They finish 6th. Let's move into 5th. 5th spot now, we've got the Melbourne Storm. The Melbourne Storm. Now, interesting topic. Everyone expects them to fall off. They're not going to. They're not going to miss the 8 for a long time. It's Bellamy's last season. They're going to be up for it. But I think this year with Melbourne, it's similar to last year. We saw come finals time that they were massively off the pace compared to Melbourne, Brisbane and Penrith, right? They were massively off the pace. They got flogged in the first week of the finals. They were lucky even to beat us, to be fair. Let's be really honest here. They were lucky to get past the Roosters with an injury-based side. And then they got found out the week later, got absolutely pumped by Penrith in that prelim final. So they're a bit of a tab off the pace. However, it's Melbourne Storm, right? They're always up there. They always know how to win the big games. They know how to find a way to be in premiership contention every season. You're going to expect that from the Storm, and I expect no different this year. They finish 5th. They have a good season, finish 5th, and respected season, finish 5th. But I think it's a similar season last year. They're not up there against the rest of the competition. They finish it in 5th, get a home final. Still a good season for Melbourne, not for their standards, but still a decent season regardless. They finish 5th. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. It's time for the top 4. Look at that. Just get a look at that beautiful thing. Alright guys, we are now currently into the top 4. The best place to be come the NRL season. Now, speaking of the best, let's take a look at the best part of Allianz Stadium. Is that thing right there. The plaque that reminds everyone that this is the home of the Sydney Roosters, Allianz Stadium. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Uncle Nick, mwah, salute you. Thank you for putting that up because that is absolutely beautiful. And the best place to be, you just go right down there to the gate office, gate 5. That's where you walk into the best part of Allianz Stadium, which is the Chook Pen, which is the most loudest part of the stadium where we get in the action. We've got the drums, we've got everything. This is where you see me holding my Chook Pen banner. You've got Wayne with his giggity and Victory is ours. Everything that you see at a Roosters home game, you go right through in the gate 5 into the Chook Pen, Bay 35, the place to be. Now, let's get to the matter of business. Let's get into the top 4 now. In 4th place, can we just do it not in front of the sign? I can't disrespect the sign. Yeah, all right. It's the Rabbitohs. We put South at 4th. All hatred aside, they're a good team. Last year, even though it was funny, and we laughed about it until we still laugh about it. We will be laughing about it until they don't make the 8 again. However, it's not gonna happen again. They're too good of a team to ever have that happen 2 years in a row. I think it's a really big year though for South Sydney. I generally think though with South Sydney this year that it's make or break. Nitro, he had that good season. Now he's had a bad season. He really needs to perform this year. That's just the way it is at the moment for the Bunnies this year. Obviously, Jack White, massive signing for them. You can't ignore that. They've recruited well. There's expectation on the Rabbitohs. They'll make the top 4 again, but it's another prelims final loss for the Rabbitohs. Unlucky. Moving on. All right, third place, we've got the Broncos. Brizzy Broncos. Now, they had a great season last year. Really, really had a great season. However, they choked the grand final, which is a shame. No, it's not. No, it wasn't. It was fantastic to see. Third place Broncos. They're a good team. They're always a good team on paper. Are they going to be physically, emotionally ready again for another go at the title after last year's heartbreak? I think it's going to motivate them, but I think they get there to the grand final, but I don't think they win it. But I think they'll do well against the Broncos this year. I think the question mark you've got to have, apart from the emotions from last year's grand final loss, I think it has to be that the fact that they've lost Flegler, they've lost Flegler, they've lost Herbie Farnworth. How are they going to go? How's Cobbo going to go in the centres? I think that's really the question marks that you've got on the Broncos this year. But in saying that, though, they're a quality team. They're expected to do well. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in the big games again in 2024. So third place, we've got the Brisbane Broncos. Alrighty, guys, we're now into the final 2. Second spot, it's our beloved Sydney Roosters. Now, with the Roosters, what happened last year? We had a terrible start again. We come good, and we're 2 minutes away from a prelim. We were literally 2 minutes away from a prelim in the bottom 4 long. There's so much expectation on the Roosters every year, but we've got to deliver this year. This is the chance to deliver. You could say this is the final chance for the Roosters as well. We've got Luke Keary, Jarryd Hargreaves, Daniel Tupou, James Tedesco into the veteran years. It's coming to the late stages of the career. The new talent's coming through, and it's going to take a couple of years for them to get it to their peak level. You could say this is the last roll of the dice with this current playing group with the Roosters, but we recruited this year. Spencer Linu, Dom Young and the Roosters, they're going to fire for us. It's going to be a great year for the Roosters. I think that we can win it all this year. Fire. Everyone's just going to fire. Everyone's going to fire. We're going to have a great year. But we're getting back to the top 4. We're getting back to the glory days. And second spot, including a premiership. In first place, I do have the Penrith Panthers. What more can you say about the Penrith Panthers? They're such a champion team. In the last decade, for all years, they're the best team in the modern era. They've won 3 premierships. You can't ignore that. They've lost. Generally, you sort of say that this is the year that they fall off. Right about Penrith. I put them first, but I still think that the benchmark they're going to do well. They probably, if they win a 4-peat, I'm surprised. No, they come first. Season. Lewis last year for the club, emotionally ready. I think with the World Club Challenge, it's going to run out of steam. They can't be doing this forever. Eventually, they're going to fall. I generally the first half of the year, finish top of the ladder, final side. They can't get ready for 4 years in a row. Well, technically 5. So I think that this is the year. Come to the back end of the season, they're going to be warm after a massive, grueling Origin period. World Club Challenge. It's going to take out of them. They've been up for so long. I think they do come first, but come finals time, we see just the light just go lighter. I think come finals time, I think that's when the flames are extinguished from the Panthers. But they still finish first. They have a great regular season, but finals time, it's a different story. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That wraps up our today's video. We have completed a full lap around Allianz Stadium, showing you the best parts of the stadium. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with this list. Most likely they're not going to happen. I don't think anyone's got them 100%. We might get 1 or 2. If we get 1 or 2, I'll be really happy. As long as the Roosters win the comp, I don't really care. But anyway, that is our ladder predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the little lap around Allianz Stadium. I'll be here at every home game in 2024. Bay 35, the chalk pen, that's where the place to be. But thank you very much for watching the video, guys. If you're new around here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Haynes_YT. I'll see you guys at the first home game against South Sydney, I think 28th of March, I'm pretty sure, as well. And I'm going to jump out of here. back on the flight back to Brisbane after the charity match. So, but yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, it's goodbye for now.